What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bill Burn Become. I'm Fred Moore, and sitting across from me once again, Mr. Ken POTUS. What's happening, bro?
Hey, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. It's good to see you. You're looking good, man. You were training people this morning?
Yeah, I had class this morning, and a couple clients. So yeah, it was great. Got to pilot out a new program format, so it'll be very fun.
The tactical athlete program.
Yeah, it might be something to do with that.
Dude, I am chomping at the bit. This is what I'm here for, man. I want to hear about this. So, any behind the scenes info you could give me later before it's,
of course,
it's big release.
Of course, yeah. Well, it's based on our core classes and the things, our fundamentals, which is a little bit different format to kind of key in on some of those fun areas we talk about.
Right.
For the tactical athletes. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. All right, yeah. So today I'm going to be just pommeling you with a bunch of questions.
Perfect.
Which is perfect for me because I just came off shift this morning.
Yeah.
And we had kind of like a weird shift. I didn't get much sleep, so my brain is a little confused. But I got to tell you, quick little story. We got called out for a vehicle extrication this morning. It was like 2 a.m. And it was not a big deal when we got there because it was just a guy who fell asleep while he was driving. And he bumps into a car and just falls asleep on his wrist like this.
Yeah.
Would not wake up. We had to actually shimmy stuff inside the window to pop the lock.
Wow.
And then when he finally wakes up, he's like all combative and he's telling us, leave me alone. How did I get in an accident? And we're like, I don't know. We weren't here.
He's like, bro, I'm sleeping. Like leave me alone.
Right, yeah. I just want to sleep.
He's got no idea.
But by the time, it was cold out. So, by the time we got back, it was like around 3 a.m. We got back at 4. And I was like, I'm up, made some coffee, and I hit the weights.
There you go. Nice.
I just trained. And I feel great today. I feel good. But like I said, I'm a little confused. So this is going to be an easy day for me because I'm just going to sit here and read off of my phone all these questions I got lined up for you.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, just want to do some plugs.
Yeah.
So number one, we have to mention my man Stanton Hunter, who is the main cog of the wheel for this here podcast. He's over there hiding behind these bright lights that he shoves in our face. And he's crushing it with multiple camera angles and just like that high def video right there where I'm pointing. How awesome is that? I love it. So he's at Rogue Wave Cinema on Instagram. Rogue Wave Cinema. And photography needs, video needs. He does it all. Check him out. Give the lad some of your business if you can, please. And another awesome, super duper sponsor that we have is Fireline. I'm wearing a Fireline hoodie right now. Fireline makes workout clothing, the hoodie. They also have, they got these lifting straps. I know you don't use them. I use it, but you gotta understand. I'm actually like a little older than you.
Yeah, right.
But I act like I'm younger than you.
Right.
So I think I could just lift whatever and do multiple reps. I noticed that with lifting straps, I can lift heavier, and okay, but it actually helps me prevent some elbow tendonitis.
Yeah. Which
is great because that once that comes in, it beats me up. But lifting straps, I know you're thinking like, what's the big deal? Well, guess what?
What?
These are like the Cadillac of lifting straps.
Yeah.
I'm serious. They actually have like this rubbery impregnated grip inside the material.
Okay.
And they went a little extra and they added this padding that goes around the wrist.
Yeah.
And they're awesome. I love wearing them. So they make those, and they also have really good whey protein, which I know you're plant-based, so that doesn't help you out either. But they also have other things like branched chain amino acids and really cool shaker cup. I know. What's the big deal about a shaker cup? Well, believe me, there is actually something special about the shaker cup.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that some other time, though. And then, basically, if you want to support this podcast, it would be helpful to purchase something through Fireline. And we have a special discount that you could utilize. So what you got to do is you got to go to @BillBurnBecome on Instagram. and you click the link in the bio, Fireline link. You have to click that link, otherwise you can't get the discount. You go in, you do your shopping, and at checkout, you use all one word. It's build, burn, become, and you get 25% off, and you will be super duper ready to go. And last but not least, shout out to this awesome gym we're in, Critcal Mass, which I got one word for this place. You're gonna like.
Let's hope it's a good one.
Oh, it's a good one.
What do we got?
Dope.
Dope.
It's dope.
With a period at the end.
You know, Scott, do you use that word?
No.
All right.
No, that's a no. That's a no from Scott.
He's like the same age as you.
Right.
And I'm using that word. I think it's like from the 90s.
I feel like it started in the 90s, but it's hung around pretty good considering.
Yeah.
You know, in certain crowds. You know.
I'm keeping it around.
Right? No, you should. Yeah, single-handedly.
I think I said it to one of my chiefs one time. Hey, Fred, how's everything going today? Things are dope.
Nice.
And he goes, "You're a dope." And so,
okay,
basically,
fair. You're gonna get that.
But
I think it's still around, maybe in somewhat of a sarcastic kind of way. But the word is out there. I mean, there's no denying.
Oh, it's out there. Yeah,
It's out
definitely. And but that, you know what? All busting aside.
Yeah.
Critcal Mass, awesome gym. We get to shoot the podcast here. And we're in this cool room in the back that we decided to try out the acoustics and everything. We'll see how it goes with this. You got to remember, this podcast is just a experiment in progress at all times. Kind of like our political system here in the United States, right? It's always a work in progress. Right. So, that's us. And Critcal Mass has become kind of like a new little home for me. I love working out here, and then we do the podcast. And, if you come down and you check it out, if you're in the Jersey Shore area and you're looking to weight train, you're looking to get fit, we talked about it in the last podcast. Ken does mace work, kettlebell. There's other trainers here, all kinds of awesome things happening. I would encourage anybody to check it out and see if it's the kind of place that's for you. At Critcal Mass, it's at Critcal Mass NJ for Instagram. So, yeah, that's it. Plugs are done, thank God. Yes. So let's get to some questions, bro.
Yeah, let's do it.
First thing I want to do is lead off with this thing I found on the internet.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it
There
is.
we go.
So, like everything on the internet, it's all true, right? So this is seven habits of happy people. And I wanted to bounce these off of you, just to see what you think, and get your opinion, because I'm having a little trouble with some of these, and I'm not sure if these make sense, but okay, let me read them off real quick, and then we'll go back. So it's 7 habits of happy people. Don't show off, talk less, learn daily, help the less fortunate, laugh more, ignore nonsense, and no sense of entitlement. So there you go. That's 7. And the first one, again, is don't show off. Now, how does that make sense for why are happy people not showing off?
Cool. Yeah. So I get to see all kinds of people all day, and definitely a people person in and out of the gym. So I really enjoy seeing stuff like this. Also, real quick, like, how adorable is it that Fred, badass Fred's at home looking at like inspirational quotes about happiness and shit like that. That's great. I love that. But yeah, I like seeing these things. You got to take them all with a grain of salt, but they definitely provoke some thought in your head. These are 7 habits of happy people. I want to try not to sound too grouchy on some of these here.
This is why I want to ask.
Again, it's all about it's very interpretive. That's one of the interesting things about like these memes and these things. It's so short and like broad brushed and like just on top of you and scrolling through it all the time.
Right.
It's like if you ever sit and like parse through them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to break this down in my own world here.
Yeah, let's
see what we got here.
Let's go one at a time.
So let's go ahead with number 1. We got don't show off. So, bottom line is, I think that's a good one. I think it goes back to like, you shouldn't feel the need to show off in a way that is like to gain someone's approval. I think that's kind of like the long form version that I would use.
And why is that?
Well, I think there is like showing off that can be healthy where it's like you're sharing your gifts. You know what I mean? Like, are you performing something or acting a certain way to like impress somebody, or to just kind of reach people that might also enjoy the same thing? So there's kind of a spirit behind it. Like I put my workout videos up all the time. It's not to say, oh, mine's better than anyone else's. It's just to say, hey, I'm out here, I'm doing this as a peek into my life.
Right.
This is like, if you're into this kind of fitness and working out and stuff like that, join in. It's kind of like to reach people at home, or whatever. So there's a lot of ways to show off and not show off, but long and short of it, I'd say overall it's a good answer.
Yeah.
But I would also say don't feel like you have to be so inward that you can't express yourself and share things with people, especially people you know and love, that love to hear that stuff from you.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, I
overall.
think like what you said earlier about you're worrying about what other people think about you.
Right. That's
and that causes a little anxiety, doesn't it?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So how are you happy if you're anxious about what other people think about you?
Right.
And also, well, that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think we got that one down pretty good.
Number two is talk less. Now, this one has me kind of perplexed, and you got to help me out with this, dude, because
too much talkative people on a podcast.
I'm happy as hell right now,
Yeah.
and I can't shut the fuck up.
Right.
So does this make sense?
Where I would go with this one is, again, in theory, it sounds cool. I think we kind of picture in an ideal world of the talk less, like what is embodying the talk less. We picture this like intelligent, stoic person, maybe like a monk type of person, just taking the world in, thinking about stuff. So, but I think speaking is important for so many things. We are social animals, you know what I mean? So if someone was to just be holding something in for no reason, I don't know if that's necessarily productive either. I would say maybe talk less and communicate more. So increase listening if you're going to be talking.
Yeah.
So don't just be ready with an answer to someone or just talking on and on about yourself. It's a two-way street. Maybe focusing more on two-way communication and a lot of listening. Listening is super important. That's how you learn. That's how we learn about each other. That's how you come up with interesting things to say when it is your turn to speak. And so maybe it's just less talking, things like that, and more listening and communicating, things in that nature.
Yeah, and then you said by listening you could learn more, which leads right to number 3, which is learn daily.
Oh yeah.
Which I can't argue with that. That's
no argument. I'll just another point with that is the way I approach everyone that I meet. You know what I mean? Especially, and I'm in a teaching atmosphere. I try to think of myself in some small way as like an educator. Teaching people physical movements and also trying to be a positive influence on them. Just giving them a good piece of their day and dedicating it to them, and also having information they can take with them and take it home and keep using it, and build upon. But I also learn stuff from them. I learn stuff from my clients, my family members. The way I look at it is everyone can learn something from someone else and could teach something to someone else. Sure. Yeah. So and that's the beauty of it. A lot of times it's many things. You know what I mean? And if you consider yourself, well, you definitely are. You're an educator. You're an instructor. Course, you're a teacher. Yeah. And they always say teachers are always you can't teach unless you're always learning. Right. Something like that. Any person on earth, any person, even not in my world, I'm a big animal person. Like animals too. Like anything that you come in contact with in the world, you got to be ready to help them and teach them something, but also receive something. There's something to learn from them, or even if it's just something to learn from their story. Right. But how does that actually make you happy though? I think again it goes back to the social aspect of it. When you're learning and you're making yourself better, and you're communicating with others to learn something, that's a good place to be in. Right. Yeah, that makes sense to me. All right. That's where I would put that roughly. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And then you just mentioned helping people. So number 4 or whatever we're at. Yeah. Is help the less fortunate. It's another one I can't argue with. That one's like jackpot right there. Like that might be. I could maybe put that one right at. I don't know if they're not really in any order, but you can put that one right at the top. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be people less fortunate. Just I agree with that. If anybody comes to you for any type of help and you're able to deliver it, it feels good. Absolutely. Real quick on that, some of the times when I was not as happy as I am now, but I was still working, I was fine, I didn't have any like outstanding issues. But one of the things I did was volunteered a lot of my time in college, before and after for a while. Actually, one of my big things I volunteered with was with animals, Rescue Ridge. Animal rescue. They rescue dogs and cats, mostly some other animals. So I would spend my summers there, time off, anytime.
Where
off.
are they? They're in
That's
New Jersey?
in Monmouth County, New Jersey.
Oh,
so
okay.
If you're looking for a place to volunteer at, or
What
or
did
an
you do
animal,
there?
I walked the dogs, the cats. I helped a little bit, but mostly the dogs, and I helped rehome dogs that were, pulled from other shelters and were going through the system and whatever, that were just, something happened to their owner or whatever, that needed new homes. So I would walk them and keep them social, with a group of other like super dedicated people.
That's cool. Man.
And I would go and once in a while I'd even visit like their new homes, make sure it was suitable for them. Take them on a car ride with me, have them check the home out, introduce them
Are you serious?
to the kids and the dogs, and
Yeah.
make sure they were cool, and do that. So that was one way that I found to give back, and I still am in contact with them from time to time. Wish I could do it more and more, but that was definitely years and years. That was like really helped me find myself doing that. And then to your point, one other thing, helping. It doesn't necessarily mean less fortunate, and also less fortunate doesn't always mean what we think it means. For example, there could be people that could have $1 million in a beautiful car, but maybe they're just not having a great day, and like you could still be a good person and be helpful to them too. Like it may not be the most outwardly like less fortunate people.
Right.
It might be just someone that like, needs someone to be kind to them in that moment.
Right.
It could be anybody.
Yeah,
You know, it
they're
doesn't look-
lacking some type of emotional love or a
just,
feeling
or
of
just
connection.
having a bad day. We never know what
Yeah.
each other's going through. So
Right.
And it's not just being nice and being fake for no reason, but like just being genuinely like just good energy.
Yeah,
good
you
person
don't
to
judge
somebody.
the person. You just
Everyone's
yeah.
got their stuff going on. So
That's awesome. Good answer. Good
Yeah.
answer. So now we move on to laugh more, which now I'm thinking that connects to talk less. If you if you talk less, you could listen more, which means you could hear funny shit and then laugh.
there you go.
That's where I'm gonna find the defense for talk less. But laugh more. They say, the more you laugh, the more chemical release of endorphins you have,
Sure.
and obviously you can't laugh if you're sad or mad.
Right.
So just laugh. They even
Yeah.
say like if you're upset about something, you should force yourself to laugh, even if it's a fake
I don't
laugh.
know about that.
That's what they say. I
They
don't,
say,
they,
yeah.
Who's that?
Whoever made this meme, right? Laughing is complex. I've read mixed things about it. I've read that like it's a nervous habit that we do to show like a submissive state. Like animals will show their teeth in like a submissive state, and like we smile and laugh for similar reasons.
Right,
Like it's almost like a nervous energy. Like our brain is being filled with something that's interesting or stimulating, and we just kind of like laugh because of it. I love to laugh. I love to make people laugh. There's nothing against that.
Yeah.
I found that fascinating.
Right.
It's kind of a mixed bag. I wouldn't say forcing yourself to laugh is good. I feel like that's like some, I don't know, American Psycho type of Christian Bale kind of Lecter. I don't know what's up with that.
In fact, they say you should look in the mirror at yourself and force yourself to laugh.
I don't have to force myself. I got enough wrong with me. I can make fun of myself. But yeah, you were saying, so force yourself. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the laugh more is more of like a consequence of just communicating and enjoying, your social circle.
Right.
Right. I think
Yeah.
laughing kind of comes with that. I don't know
Sure.
if like
Yeah.
the laughter itself is like a habit of that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a nice sentiment. It probably sounds nicer than it
Yeah,
is, but
yeah. It's almost like
I think it kind
such
of
an
goes in
obvious.
with the positive lifestyle
Right.
and being around, a strong social circle.
Sure. All right. So what about ignore nonsense?
I would say of all of them, this is the one I probably had the toughest time with, because ignoring anything I don't think is really the best strategy. You know what I mean? You want to actually, from what I've learned in my field, working with people nonstop, you want to address the issue in some manner,
Right.
you know, and then understand that there's a productive way to fix it.
Yeah, I think this is a little cryptic or whatever.
Super cryptic.
Because
right?
it's like, well, what is your definition of nonsense? Like,
Yeah.
like, is it just, you know, two people are talking about their shoes all day, and that's nonsense to you, or is it more of a there's a problem,
Right.
Like and you don't want to ignore something,
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's
even
a
if
problem.
there is someone that's like giving you a hard time, I would say you should acknowledge it to yourself and just, you know, make peace with the fact and go about a productive way of fixing it. It's
Yeah.
like, am I going to ignore if someone's not exercising properly, if there's something going on with them? Like, I'm not going to ignore it. You know,
Right.
you want to educate yourself.
Right,
I
yeah.
just don't like the word ignore there. I feel like we should be about learning and accepting what reality is and then building around that. So
right.
ignoring, don't love that one.
All right,
But you don't want the nonsense to get to you either. But I think the way of doing that is not pretending it doesn't exist. It's productively working yourself through it.
Yeah, right. Or just saying, hey, stop with the nonsense. Just stop. All right, I'm trying to be happy over here, and your nonsense is ruining that.
I'm trying to laugh and not show off, and your nonsense is
Right,
in
exactly.
my way, right.
And meanwhile, there's probably people enjoying themselves by being nonsensical,
Or by being
and they're like, dude,
being crappy to others.
yeah, you're screwing up my happiness now.
Yeah, right. Sure. That's where it comes
See,
in.
we're getting deep here.
That's where it comes in, right?
All right, so the last one is no sense of entitlement. I can't argue with that. How is that a habit of happy people? I don't know.
I think if you're happy, then you don't need a sense of entitlement. Like, you don't need, like, if you're really getting it and you're learning and you're being open to others and you're being, you know, that's to me what being happy is being, you know, have some sort of comfort in your reality and understanding all of that,
Right.
And being open to others too.
Yeah.
Meaning, you know, entitlement, it means you don't think you're better than others. You know what I mean? And
Right.
understanding that no one's inherently like better or worse, and that we all are dealing with
You're
our own
humble.
stuff.
You're
You're
humble.
humbled
Yeah.
in that way. So I could see where they're going with that one for sure.
All right, cool. All right, so that's it. And
That's all that was a fun kind of like quiz.
yeah,
little
I want to add one more.
Uh-oh.
I want to add an eighth,
Yeah,
and
let's see
that's
it.
happy people have the habit of listening to this podcast.
Yeah, I would say.
That was like a dad joke. I am a dad, so I'm allowed to tell those jokes.
You're allowed. I don't know what my excuse is.
So thanks, bro. That was good. Thank you, everybody, for checking us out. Remember, Ken, you can find him on Instagram. He's at Ken Plant Beast. And, well, if you're watching this, you're already on the .com or you're on YouTube. And if you're listening to it, you're already on SoundCloud and iTunes. If you're on iTunes, can you please leave us a review? Be honest with your review and tell everybody how great we are. But be honest when you do it, all right? But yeah, review would help because that'll bump us up a little bit in the rating system. And then, again, please visit our sponsor, Fireline, and Rogue Wave Cinema, at Rogue Wave Cinema. Check all that out. And Critcal Mass Gym. All right, thanks, everybody. Take it easy.
Become a better you.